guys, from the lab here. So what we're doing today is not actually dealing with woodwork, and a lot of times I do deal with woodwork, but we have other hobbies in our home. So we actually have two bearded dragons that are costing us a ton of money on feeding. I mean, like upwards to $200 a month for lizards that I'm not going to be able to like eat. Wait, I'm vegan now. So they're getting fat and plumped, and they're getting healthy because we're actually gut loading a lot of our roaches and also our superworms. We did do the superworm breeding. We found that it wasn't worth our time and effort to do that. They're so cheap at the store that we're just gonna continue to buy those. But dubious roaches, holy cow. All right guys, so we're gonna go through that today. I just want to show you guys a little brief video. If you guys go on in depth, there's a lot of guys on here that go super in depth. I'm gonna say that I'm still on the intermediate side. I'm not a professional, but my colony's growing tremendously. It's been about 3 or 4 months. I'm actually cleaning it today because one of those things that you got to watch out on your dubious is the mold that actually might form inside the enclosure. So what had happened is we had the water crystals, and you know, my kids loved helping out and we loved doing the science experiment and stuff like that, but they did pour the water crystals on the bottom, which allowed the egg crates and stuff to soak up the water and create some mold. So we're actually cleaning out today. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like, and we'll get there. And thanks for watching, guys. Again, starting off, guys, I want you guys to notice that we're putting these egg crates vertically up and down, so that way the roaches can move around more freely. I've seen that when they're horizontally, they don't move around so much. That'll hinder the ability to be able to have the babies being made or the nymphs to be able to be produced. Also, I'm building around the carrots and the water and the rabbit pellets, so that way they can easily move from the egg crates onto their water or their food. You also notice I'm using Gorilla Glue a lot just to be able to keep those in place. This helps support the egg crates and not have them move around and crush and possibly crush the roaches, or even hinder the roaches from moving around from one place to another. Alright, let's talk about the birds and the bees. This guy right here with the wings, that's going to be a male doobie roach. The females are more scaly, shiny, just like this one in the picture. Also, you'll start seeing the lighter colored nymphs or babies. Those are babies that are starting to get bigger, and so they're basically shedding their outside of the exoskeleton. Now is a good time to talk about the male to female ratio. You're going to want to have 1 male roach to 3 females. If you have too many males, they end up competing for the females, and also they may even possibly start eating the other offspring of other male dubious roaches. Alright guys, now that I got the colony back together, let's talk about a little bit about hydration, keeping them full of water. So this is what I get from Home Depot. It's a water crystal dealio. It's pretty easy. It says prevent over and under watering for plants. I actually filled up with water, put it in my refrigerator so that way I have it when I need it. I fill up a couple of cups that you guys seen in my colony, and then away I go. It's not very hard. I don't like putting water or in petri dishes or any kind of dishes inside here because the roaches just fall in, they die, and I start wasting a lot of stuff. So I really don't want to do that. So it's a pretty good source to be able to feed them. Also, guys, I have these cups, and on the cups they're very slick on the side. So what I've done is I've taken sandpaper and sanded that down, and then I've also left cardboard right next to the top of it, just a little bit, so that way they can crawl in and crawl out. The other thing is I use carrots on the other side. You guys saw that. I use a little plate so that way I can pull the plate out and then I can rinse it off and let it dry, fill it back up with celery or carrots, and then go ahead and put it back in. Now let's talk about the colony container. I went to Home Depot to try to find a tub. This container here works out pretty well. It's a 45 gallon. As you can see, I did put the holes in the top and actually cut a hole out and put mesh on it, and then use the windowsill tape to make sure that they weren't able to get out. Remember, you want to get something slick so that way they can't crawl up the sides. I was going to go for a smaller container. I was told that my roach colony would outgrow that pretty quickly, and I'm glad I listened. Right now I am at that capacity where it's going to blossom pretty fastly, so I'm glad I listened and got the bigger one. We also have to talk about the temperature. As long as the temperature is good inside the colony container, you're going to have a mass bloom of nymphs coming out. So I did put a heater on the bottom. I do live in Southern California. I don't need it that much, but it is nice to have when the temperature drops below 60, or if it's rainy and cold outside. But that's all I have to say, guys. I hope you had an enjoyable time watching this.